Hey, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started here. All right.
What advice do you give to newly starting out agents?
First of all, decide that you're going to join Club 13. And Club 13 is just something I made up because 87% of the people that start in real estate fail within 3 to 5 years. And that's it, man. So if you're going to be, you got to declare, like, I'm going to be a part of Club 13, and then I'm going to back it up. So here's the thing. Why do people fail? They fail because they never align the right behaviors to realize their real potential. So let me give it to you like a super easy, tactical, like strategic. Ready? Call every for sale by owner in your marketplace in all of San Diego, if not all of California, with zero expectation of listing the house, but just calling every single one of them and learning how to navigate their punches and their objections and their conditions and why are you calling me and I don't like agents. And you know what? You need to eat that shit for a year. And then guess what? You guys know what I'm talking about. You do that for a year and every single person you talk to for the rest of your career will be super easy because you went after a DIY person, the harder person, and if not for sale by owners, expired listings.
I'll add one thing to that. You got to recognize that if you're a brand new agent, you are a startup company. You can't relate to it like I'm an agent on Kyle Whistle's team. No, you're a freaking startup company. And when you think about a startup company, what do we know? They put in ridiculous amount of hours. Right? They they get in there and they know the first year they're not going to cash in on $1 million. This is a 2-3 year process, right? And that's why I always 10-year process. But 3 years of grinding out, hitting the for sale by owners, right? Going, where's my money? When's it going to show up? Before you really have the business maturity and acumen to have appropriate expectation for the 500, 600, 700, whatever that number is. That's number one, right? And that means like putting in more hours. It means, really drilling in. Number two for me is you got to own your dialogue. When I watch Tom, right? And I just go, he owns every single word. There's no doubt anyone has any lack of belief. And why is that? Because he owns it. He knows it, right? He knows what he is going to say. So for all of you that have been at Sales Edge, you know me, guys, you have got to take the scripts and you got to certify yourself. You have to get that down 100% the way that it's written, and then start tweaking it, start making it your own, right? And so those are the two things. You're a startup, and number two, you got to own the dialogue. Actually, there's a third one. The third one is know your shit. You got to be studying as much as you possibly can, market stats, going out, previewing as many properties as you can. If you're a Porsche salesperson, right, you would learn everything that you possibly could about Porsches. So that when someone walks off the lot and they say, hey, can you tell me about this 911? You can rattle off, well, this 911 has 560 horsepower. It actually, this has the new body stuff. Whatever it is about that car, you would know it, right? You got to be the same way, whether it's inside your farm or in the overall market of San Diego, where you guys sell. Know the stats, preview the properties, so that when someone asks you the question about the market, about the property, about price, you have the confidence to be able to deliver it.
Good morning, everybody. I wanted to share that video because it's funny. John Greer and myself, we probably, I don't know, in any given month, we meet a lot of recruits that are either getting their license or about to become new in the business. And one thing that I tell them all, they'll say, well, what advice do you give me? And one of the things that I'll say is treat the next 4 years like you're in college for real estate. So, learn as much as you can, be somebody that you want to find out everything there is to know about our business. Learn, train, practice, and don't have any expectations of money. I know that you got into this business to make money, keep your day job, but treat the next 4 years as being in college, and whatever money you do make, pretend that's a bonus on your tuition. So, you know, now more than ever, guys, things are changing because of, you know, COVID-19. Things are changing around, and, you know, it's going to take a little more effort out of you to make things happen. And so, you know, one thing that he said, Tom Ferry said, was join the 13%er club, meaning that you're that 13% club that does what the other, whatever the math is, 87, would that be it? The 87 that don't do anything or aren't putting in as much effort. So, and I wanted to put that quote by Winston Churchill: success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. So, you know, for a lot of you that are newer on this call, you know, just I would say that, you know, have no money expectations. Instead, try to better yourself, learn. Look at what he said. If you were a Porsche car salesman, if you were a Mercedes car salesperson, you would need to know everything there is to know about a Mercedes. I'll be a little open with you guys. When I went to go buy my Mercedes, the salesperson didn't know where the hood opening, the thing that you pull so the hood opens up. And that was just weird. Of course, the guy was a little young, but it was just kind of weird. Like, how did that guy not know where? I showed him where the hood opening was. And I had never owned a Mercedes before. So not to say that he probably didn't know the rest of the car, but it's just, come on, like even the hood, you know, that's something that you do all the time, and he couldn't find it on this particular model for some weird reason. So anyways, don't let that happen to you. Don't let somebody else that's not in real estate teach you about real estate or show you up on real estate. So anyways, that's just my little rant for the morning. Do we have any buyer, seller wants and needs? I know that we have 2 new listings that I'm going to share with you guys if those agents aren't on the call, but do we have anybody on the call that would like to share their listing? No? Okay. Well, let me exit here real quick and go to the MLS. So the first one that I want to point out, which I think is a bargain, and I'll let you guys determine that though, is Wallace's new listing in the city of Garden Grove. This is actually, it looks like a PUD, guys. It looks like it would be an attached property, and Joe Coy will be like, man, this is great because you could probably go FHA on this. Because I already checked, it's a SFR detached, it's not a PUD. Even if it was a PUD, Joe Coy might be able to still do it. Most of those usually go FHA anyways. But you know, sometimes these type of constructions might have like a condo certification versus an SFR, but this is not the case. So 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,273 square feet, 520, built in 2001. 520 is what he's asking for it. It does have an HOA of 144, but let's look at the Matterport on this one, guys. As you guys know, I've been talking about Matterport, and we actually have a deal with a company that does Matterport. If you'd like that information, let me know. Let's see here. Let's watch it. So this is what Matterport, if you use Brandon Anaya and John Fitzpatrick, this is what they offer our company. And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably an average of like $250. They do the Matterport for you, and they do the photography. And I think for like an extra $20, they'll do a floor plan for you. But this is really, you know, something that you might want to use in these COVID times right now, where you know, a lot of people can't get in. One thing that I would recommend is, if you can, do a coming soon listing and get your photography and your Matterport done, and just post that up, you know, prior to going on the market, maybe 5 days before, and direct everybody to go to this to your Matterport site. So the cool thing with this version of Matterport that Brennan Anaya and John Fitzpatrick offer is they set it up to where it automatically goes to the house. Hopefully you're sitting down and you're not getting dizzy by this. But other Matterports, you have to self-direct it. In this one, it automatically goes to the place for you. And I think that might be it. Yeah, see, that's it. So anyways, the other thing is, though, once you're done with that, you can actually go, and the way it works is you do that. So you can click on the little circles and go in places, you know, get look and see, and you know, oh man, I see a leak over there or whatever, you know. Not that there is one there, but I'm just saying you can definitely do, you know, look at ceilings, look at the walls. I think that was a staircase going down. Is that right? Yeah, you see that? So it's pretty neat, highly interactive. I'm not saying that somebody's going to buy a house through this, although one of our agents from the Gardena office just sold $1 million property in the Hollywood Hills to a couple from Florida, and they specifically bought that house off pictures and virtual tour alone. So not saying completely 100% no, that people won't do that, but you know, at least this gives people an opportunity to, you know, decide whether or not they really want to come out there and see this property. So, all right, so that was Wallace Ho's listing in Garden Grove. I think it's priced right, $520, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $1,273. You know, if you have a buyer, reach out to him. The next one is by Sharon Sears. This is in the city of Hacienda Heights, and that is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, or 4-bedroom, 1 and 2 half baths, or 1 half and a quarter, however you want to read that. But yeah. So, anyways, that's 3 days on the market, 2,630 square feet, built in 1964. And asking price $888,800. Hacienda Heights. This is just down the street from Joe Coy's office. So if you get a buyer, you could just walk over to Joe Coy's office and have lunch and get them qualified and write it up. But only one picture on this one, guys. I don't know. Maybe she's waiting on a photographer for more pictures. But here, I'll read you the description at least. Beautiful leaded glass double doors open a spacious tiled foyer. Home has formal living room, separate formal dining room, as well as a large family room with a real wood burning corner brick fireplace. Family room is open to a fabulous upgraded kitchen with a walk-in pantry, gorgeous cabinets, even a garden window. Separate laundry room with a half bath, direct access to 2-car garage, master bedroom with sitting area. His and her closets. And you guys know, please don't get upset, but you know that I think they're thinking of striking out master bedroom in all real estate listings, and they're going to be calling them main bedroom. So whatever, things are changing. But anyways, you guys can finish reading off the rest. She says new HVAC system, 6 months old, newer flooring. First time on the market in 30 years. So if you have a buyer for Hacienda Heights, something to think about. And 16,000 square foot lot. So here, let's look at a map on this real quick. So it looks like a nice neighborhood and pretty huge lot. So something to consider, guys. If you have a buyer, please reach out to Sharon Sears. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have any listings? Anything coming up? No? All right. All right. Let's do the numbers. So 16 pending currently, guys. I know that last month we closed, I want to say about 20 sides. 16 pending. I really want to point out. So anyways, congratulations to Renee, Jean, Angie Sandoval, Rosie Melgoza, Don and Carrie, Nancy and Fang, the Morales team, with multiple people here with multiple transactions. Olivia Supplemental from the Santa Ana office, Jolie Piccolini, Bernadette Chua, congratulations. She actually just closed a transaction, I believe, yesterday with us. And then Fing and Nancy, wow, congratulations on multiple sales there. So that's awesome. Great work, everybody. I wanted to share something with you here, is that even though we're on the 11th day, we had 8 closings. And actually, sorry, this is counting it as 8. There's actually 9 total closings. But I really want to give a shout out to Eduardo and Renee, really kicking a lot of butt this month. They, they double-ended that Wilson deal that you see there in Garden Grove. And then they also double-ended the mezzanine deal in Long Beach. So congrats to those guys. One more thing, guys, on a sad note, just wanted to mention that Renee Nava lost his father on Friday. So if you do know Renee, for those of you that have met him and have worked with him alongside, a phone call or a text would go a long way at this time. If you know him and you'd like to attend his father's services, please send me a text message, and I will give you an update once I have that information. And just to clarify things, it was not a COVID-related death. So, just to make note of that, and want to, have everybody think that that's what it was. But please, if you know Renee, a phone call or a text message or even a handwritten note will go a long way. So congratulations to the 8 closings here. Margie Tyson, Christina Furneaux, the Grimm team, Bernadette, and again, like I said, really kicking butt, Renee and Eduardo. Really amazing work. They've been really doing really good. It's funny, David Grimm just walked in, so I'm going to say it again. Congrats to the Grimm team on their closing. So just so he doesn't think I left them out. All right, do we have John Greer on the call? Anything, John Greer? Do you want to share anything, John?
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
You guys, you hear me, Benny?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had just a couple brief things, but one I was looking to CAR weekly update or whatever, and so I'm asking all you guys. They were saying that that people making offers without even stepping inside or seeing the house, physically seeing the house anyway, that it's up to like half, 50%.
Wow.
And I'm just wondering, has any of you guys had that happen recently at all, where you never took your client over to the house?
John, a couple agents actually have messaged me about that, saying, hey, you know what, I see a property as a coming soon, and it says we can't show it. Can I submit an offer? I've had some agents ask me that. Would you like to mute yourself? Anybody out there that you've had that happen to you recently you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'll tell you, whether, if somebody has had that, in the meantime, I'm just like, I've been in the business for a long time. I'm a little surprised that, it's such a big investment, so much money involved and stuff that's what they're saying. So it doesn't sound like any of you guys had that experience recently, but anyway, just something to think about. And the other one I had to bring up is, I think it's not a secret. My daughter is our escrow officer there at Castlehead next door. She didn't say anything to me, but what she had done, so I can explain it to you guys, is she had, I don't think I'll say it, but the escrow business is slow because of the fact that there's so few listings out there for us to take control of transactions. So she's been looking for ways, different things to gain business. And evidently a couple weeks ago, she sent out a handwritten note to past clients, right? Just agent, which her past clients are agents that have used her in the past and or were using her or something. And yesterday she texted me and said, "Hey, Dad, you know, I sent this out and I got a new escrow." And it was strictly the agent said, "You know, I got that little note from you and I was really impressed. And here you go. I got a new escrow for you." So translating that over to us is our past clients and friends and family. Boy, you sure can't forget about them, especially these times. So you might even try. I'll tell you, for part of my recruiting, I send out, you know, our training, you know, a few things and a handwritten note saying that I'd like to talk to them and blah, blah, blah. And that, I'll tell you, I never added up how many I've had to send out, but you know, like say every 100, I get somebody to call me and, or it may even be less than that, to want to talk and stuff like that. So those handwritten, that's a Brian, correct me, Benny, but I think that's a Brian Buffini training method there.
Yep.
And it works. And I'm telling you, you know, with Christina Furneaux, one of the top agents, Marjorie, both of those guys, and there's agents out there that I know that use them as well, are all top agents. So you might check in if you feel like that you'd feel comfortable doing that. And you're not using Brian Buffini or haven't checked him out. It's pretty easy to do, and it's like, I think he wants you to do 3 thank you notes or 3 handwritten notes out to people that you've come in contact per day, and on and on. So anyway, Benny, that's what I had to throw out there for today.
All right, thank you. You know, just touching on that, John. You know, the late, you know, our late broker Bruce Mulhern. You know, he used to write a lot of handwritten notes, but you almost couldn't read what he would write. And so people would call him and go, "Hey, Bruce, thanks for the card, but what did you say in there?" And and I think it was a 2-part kind of a thing in his head. It was like, hey, he got you to call him, and so then, you know, he'd make like 2 touches, you know, instead of just, you know, you get the card and you, "Hey, happy birthday," and you throw it away. You'd call him, "Hey, you know, I got your card, Bruce, thanks, but what did you write in there?" So, hey, don't be afraid if you have bad writing. If you've ever received a card from me, my writing sucks. But, you know, I compared it to that of some USC, you know, medical graduates, and, you know, I'm right there with them. So just something to point out. Another thing, guys, what John was just saying about the writing offers sight unseen, you know, I highly don't recommend doing that. You know, and just like he said, he hasn't witnessed that in all the years that he's been in business. You know, I've seen listings before where they say, you know, please make an offer subject to interior inspection. I never went for anything like that. The only thing where you might do that is like on a duplex or a fourplex where there's multiple tenants involved. That makes more sense, and that's more of a common practice there. But on a single family residence, you know, if it says coming soon and whatever, the first day to show it is Saturday at noon, I would just gun for that first appointment. You know, even if your client does say, "Yeah, let's make the offer subject to," me on the receiving end as a listing agent, I never liked a subject to offer. It was just like, you haven't seen it, you know. It's even if you've seen pictures of it, you know. One of my buddies who's a big car guy, I used to tell him, "Hey man, they're selling this car out in you know, Indianapolis, and they'll ship it for you and everything, and the pictures, and there's a video." He goes, "You got to touch it. You got to touch it. There's no way around it. You got to touch it. There's nothing like feeling it, you know, looking at it, hearing it yourself, stepping on the gas." Same thing goes with a house. I think your clients really need to be out there. They really need to see this place. Why waste however long it takes you to make an offer? To me, writing an offer these days is like 2 minutes, but, you know, I don't know how long it takes to put it all together for on average, but why waste that time if, you know, once they get there, they go, "You know what, forget this place." So something to just keep in mind. Yeah, John.
One other thing on that, I did come across somebody back a little bit, but you know, they'd said, yeah, we wound up, I have one agent tell me that they had clients in Hawaii and they were being transferred over here, and therefore they couldn't get off work to come. But when I talked to a person that had done that, and I go, how'd that work out for you? You know, and they go, well, once you closed escrow, once we moved in, there's actually found several things that we weren't aware of, right? And I'm just kind of worried that, you know, out of those several things, there's something that's really major that they come back at you or whatever. I don't know. I'm old school that I think you need to see it. How many times have you guys, I'll ask you this, seen the pictures in the MLS and then drive, preview the property and go, oh my goodness, what happened? This doesn't look any, you know what I'm saying? So be careful. That's all. It seems like it's on the rise, and I'm just saying, be careful with it.
John, I almost got punched in the face once doing an open house on my listing. It was a condo, and this buyer walks in and he goes, "Why did you Photoshop the pictures?" I go, "Mister, I didn't do anything. I just hired a photographer. He's a great photographer. This room is nothing like it looks online. You're a liar." You know, hey, that has nothing to do with me, man. I hired a great photographer. Well, no, you know, you're a scammer, you know, this and that. Like, man. So yeah, totally. I agree 100% with you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move on here. Do we have somebody from the right team on the call?
Of course.
All right. Wow, that was a twofer.
Oh, because you got the KK team.
All right.
So
Keegan and Christy.
That is not the KKK team.
Go ahead.
So anyways, you guys, we're going to share, can we share a screen really quick? We just want to show you something that came up on a file, and I want all of our agents to know how to look for this type of issue for your buyers.
Give me 1 sec. Yeah, that should work.
I'm going to have to hop off, you guys, because I'm doing a Zoom with the Mulherns and the dentist. But Keegan's going to show this to you. Keegan, you got this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He learns so fast, you guys. So I'm sad I have to jump off, but I can't be late for Dennis.
All right.
Okay.
No worries.
Take it away, Keegan.
All right. So we actually recently had this happen. This is a property that we're went in escrow with, but we wanted to talk about the special assessment area of the tax roll, because we had the buyer's agent start asking us about the special assessments once we were already in escrow, which at that point, I don't want to say it's too late, because it's not, but you would want to know if there's a $4,000 reoccurring bill before you get into escrow, in my opinion. That personal. So if you look down here in the special assessment area, you see the first one is a $4,200 water bill. And you'll see it says Valley Center delinquent water. So she just assumed that this is a delinquent bill, and this is a one-time thing. It's going to be paid off by the buyer or by the seller. And then she realized, wait, that might not be the case, because what can sometimes happen is, yes, this says delinquent, but what can be hidden inside this is the normal water bill. Sometimes the water district, or it can be sewage, or it can be whatever, sometimes they will put the normal bill within the delinquent charge. And you can see that there's 3 other water bills beneath it. So there's 4 water bills total. What ended up happening is Christy and myself, we actually called the Valley Center Water Department and got a hold of them to confirm what this was. And it turns out this is just a lien. As you can see that they're delinquent on their taxes in general, and this is just back taxes. But this is something that can occur, and you want to make sure, you know, if you have a buyer who's interested in a property, you want to check with them ahead of time to make sure that they're okay if there's a large reoccurring payment, because sometimes it can be mellow ruse. Sometimes it can be bonds that have been taken out. There's different types of reoccurring special assessments. And so you want to check this section here. And, hopefully the listing agent and buying agent, both of them are looking at the tax roll. And this is included in all the property profiles from our customer service department. So you can just get in there real quick, look right here, see, okay, are they delinquent on their taxes? Then you go down here and look at the bottom and go, okay, what's the total special assessments that they're going to have to pay? And if you see a $4,000, $5,000 bill and you're not expecting that, start looking at the items, check to see if there's some delinquent issue or if there's a large mellow ruse. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself or Christy or call our customer service department. Sometimes what you'll see is you'll see a bond for like $500. And what they can do is they can look up for the bond number so you can call them and see how many years are left. Because if there's only 2 years left for this $500 bond, your clients might be like, okay, that I'm willing to pay, $1,000 over 2 years to live in this great neighborhood. But if it's for 30 years, they might have a completely different reaction.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring attention to the special assessment section. You can also pull it up online on our website. And if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know, or Christy.
Awesome.
Keegan,
Yes, sir.
this is John Greer. I got a question. It's in property tax. I had a client recently that called and is telling me she wants to sell the house, that she's behind in her property tax.
Mhm.
And I called customer service and they told me that, yeah, she is behind. And what put her onto that is she goes, I keep having realtors call me saying that, that I'm in default and that if I'm thinking of selling the house to save my equity and all this, and I'm like, okay, well, let me check. And I see, yeah, she is. And so here's the curveball with a mortgage. You fall behind on that. To get current, you have to pay the whole thing back,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And in other words, they won't take partial payments. Well, in this case, back in March, she came in with like $3,500 and gave it to the state, tax assessor, to put towards her arrearage of property tax. So now, after 5 years, she's been behind for a while. Would they apply that then, and there's not going to be a auction on that property, or do you know?
I don't know for certain. What I would recommend is call or have her call and talk with the state. You said it was the state taxes, correct?
Tax assessor.
The county.
Oh,
tax.
county taxes? Okay. I would call and talk with the county tax assessor. I would say, hey, this is a property. She has made payment. I want to know what's the status going on for this property. Is it planned to be taken to a tax sale? And is there a way that we can create some sort of payment plan? Because right now, all the counties are hurting for money. So if you say, hey, we're willing to make a payment plan, they might be willing to accept.
I'll tell you what, she's tried numerous occasions, and what's happening is they'll never pick up. They might pick up, they transfer her to the right department. She'll sit on hold for 20 minutes and it just disconnects, So I was hoping, but anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it and I'll share it with you guys. Just find out what's going on.
Yeah, I've had a lot of
great from there.
issues. I've had a lot of issues trying to get a hold of the county, particularly LA County. I've had a really hard time getting a hold of a living person. I've tried email, I've tried calling. Depending on what department, they just won't answer.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, when you find out, John, you let us know, because that'd be great. I'm sure a lot of people have clients out there that could have the same situation going. So yeah.
Well, you know where this stems is that the house is free and clear. There's no lender involved here, so it's strictly the property tax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they're older and they're having trouble with COVID and all that, so it could be cropping up more.
Got it. All right. Well, when you hear more on that, we'll definitely follow up on that. Thank you, Keegan.
All right, thank you. I have to jump on to the next meeting, so I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Joe.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, first thing I want to get started with today is rates. Rates continue to remain pretty stable. You're looking at about 2.75 for FHA, 2.75 for VA, 2.875 for a conforming conventional, and about 3.0 for a high balance conventional. We've seen very little fluctuation from day to day in rates. They continue to remain very stable. I don't have many guideline updates for you guys today or program updates for you, but one thing that I wanted to discuss was what you can do to make your offers more competitive, or what we can do from the financing side to make your offers more competitive. I think anybody who's out there working with buyers right now has experienced the competitiveness. Certainly your buyers have probably lost out on a property or two, and it's very difficult right now to get something accepted. You really got to stand out. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the pre-approval. So, with some lenders, you'll see just a pre-approval letter. You won't see like the AUS findings. You won't see a credit score disclosure or proof of funds. But all four of those things are very important and crucial to representing your buyer as a strong buyer, that the lender's done all the necessary due diligence, and that their loan is solid. So make sure you got the DU approval, credit score disclosure, pre-approval letter, and proof of funds. The next one is FHA versus conventional. So, usually if a listing agent or a seller, they have multiple offers, maybe they're all around the same sales price. Now they start to dig a little bit deeper to compare the offers. And one thing they look at is whether the buyer is going with an FHA loan or a conventional loan. A conventional loan is looked at as the buyer being a more highly qualified individual. Conventional loans have lower debt-to-income ratio requirements, higher FICO score requirements. It's tougher to get the AUS approval, and for that reason, they're looked at as stronger buyers. Now, a lot of times, our clients have the option to go FHA or conventional, and sometimes they're choosing to go FHA maybe because of a lower down payment, maybe because of a cheaper monthly payment. But sometimes when those clients have the option to go conventional or FHA, it's in their best interest to go conventional, again, to present a stronger offer and increase their chances of getting their offer accepted. So, I'm always going over those options with clients. A lot of times the agents are recommending that, hey, see if you can go conventional on this one. There's already 10 offers. So we'll have those discussions with the client. We'll let them know like what their options are for going conventional and still trying to keep their payment as cheap as possible. So sometimes it's doing a rapid rescore to increase their FICO score. Conventional loans, the interest rate and the mortgage insurance are highly dependent upon the FICO score. So anything we can do to help the client increase their FICO score is going to be helpful. Another thing is, sometimes they can actually put less money down with a conventional loan than an FHA loan. They can put 3.0% as long as one of the buyers is a first-time home buyer, where with an FHA loan, it's 3.5% down. So, sometimes if a client knows that if they just go with the conventional loan, maybe their payment's $100 higher per month, but if it's the difference between them getting their offer accepted or not, they would gladly be willing to do that. That's one thing to look into. Another thing is putting the lender in touch with the listing agent. The lender can, well, first off, you always want the lender to be able to touch base with the listing agent. They're going to be happy to know that the lender is willing to pick up the phone, give them a call, give them an update, and they're not scared to speak with them. But the lender can go over a lot of details about the pre-approval that you may not see on the pre-approval documentation, such as the strength in their work history, how much money they have in their bank account, not only what they're choosing to put down on the purchase contract, but maybe your client has substantially more in the bank that makes them a stronger buyer. Another thing is if they have a lot of money in the bank, maybe they can come in with the difference between the sales price and the appraised value if it happened to come in low. And listing agents nowadays, especially with prices sometimes going above the asking price, that's one of their major concerns. So it gives the lender an opportunity to let them know a little bit about the turn times, a little bit about their appraisal process, when to expect a call from the appraiser. It kind of overall gives them that confidence in the lender. Another one is cross qualification. So sometimes we just wait for the listing agent to ask for a cross qualification to be completed. But sometimes if you as the buyer's agent say, hey, my lender would be happy to do a cross qualification with your lender, can we go ahead and do that? It gives them that confidence that it's not something we're concerned about. Our buyer is well qualified. It's going to be easy to do the cross qualification, and let them hear it from their lender directly that this buyer is qualified. Shorter appraisal contingencies. Appraisals are taking probably longer today than they ever have, just because of the amount of volume that mortgage companies have. One thing that could be helpful is asking your buyer if they're willing to pay for a rush on the appraisal. The rush fee is $100, but if you can shorten up that contingency period on the appraisal, again, that's something that can make a huge difference. And the last thing, something I've seen recently, is buyers actually paying some of the seller's closing costs. It's usually vice versa. A lot of times our buyers are looking to get help from the seller. They're reducing their out-of-pocket expense. But sometimes when those buyers have enough money in the bank where they're capable of maybe paying some of the seller's closing costs, maybe even just $1,000 or $2,000 can make a difference. Plus, you don't have to worry about it having an impact on the appraisal, because sometimes if you go too high on the price, then maybe the listing agent already knows it's not going to appraise. But this is one way where you can help the seller net more money with your offer, but not have issues with the appraisal. So those are a few suggestions I have. I got a bunch more. So if you guys are looking to put in an offer, a very aggressive one, and want to strategize with me, just let me know.
Hey, Joe,
Go ahead.
I had a question for you, Joe. On non-owner occupied, what's the minimum down right now?
You said non-owner occupied?
Yeah.
If 15% if it's a 1-unit property.
15?
15.
Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course, you're going to have mortgage insurance. The mortgage insurance is going to be a little bit more expensive than it would be on a primary residence, but yeah, you can put as little as 15% down on a 1-unit investment property.
And then what about 15% down? What's the interest rate on that?
I'd have to price it out. It's pretty uncommon for somebody to put 15% down while buying an investment property. It's usually more common, like 20 or 25%, but you're probably looking at a rate in the high 3s to low 4s.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, it used to be 25%. Is that correct? 20 to 25?
No, it's been 15%, at least as long as I can remember. It's been 15% on a single family.
Income property then, like a duplex, that's 20, 25?
Yeah, 2 through 4 is 25%.
Got it. Okay. All right. Cool. Just making sure. But John, great question, man. I love it.
Yeah.
That was great. All right, Joe. Well, thank you very much for sharing that. Everybody, his phone number is there on the screen and his email's there. I mean, those are some great tips that he had to offer. And that's true. The more complete your offer is, the better. So purchase contract, proof of funds, approval letter, credit scores, and if you could get a DU, even better. And if you could have Joe call within 5 minutes of submitting that offer, even better. So awesome. Good info, Joe. Thanks for sharing. Do we have Stephanie Pagan on the call? No, she's not on there. Okay. All right. So you know what? I just gotta close this. All right. So just wanted to share a couple of things with you guys. It's funny. I was talking to Don about this earlier today. Don Roberts in the office. I said how funny it is that being a real estate agent is almost like being a politician. If anything, it's probably just like being a politician, and maybe even harder because I tell people this all the time. I go, next Friday I'm going to be unemployed. Oh, why is that? Well, because I have no more escrows, right? Every time you're not in escrow, you're unemployed. So, unlike, running for office, once you get elected, you're in for whatever that term is. Sadly, in real estate, that's not the case. So you got to keep being a politician. And that's why John Greer keeps, knocking those doors and dropping off calendars and newsletters, because it's a nonstop job. And he's been doing it for how many years? So, anyways, just wanted to share. The other thing is, just like we started with that Tom Ferry video where he said, join the 13% club, which means, be that 13% that are out there doing the sales and not the 87% that aren't doing anything, that are just sitting on the sidelines, and learn as much as you can about your business. Like you said, if you were a Porsche car salesman, and like I said, if you're a Mercedes car salesman, you want to know everything there is to know about those cars. So number one, I think for anybody in sales, right, If you're just working at Walmart and you're a cashier, or you know, you work for the city or the DMV or something, your mindset's really not going to matter, right? But in sales, where there's no guarantees of you even making a penny in 1 year, right? But then the sky's the limit. There's no cap on how much you can make. Mindset, to me, I believe, is everything. You know, when I started in 2007, right at the crash, my family told me I was crazy. What are you doing? You're an idiot. Why are you getting into real estate at the worst time ever? Friends, same thing. Strangers, people I didn't even know. Yeah, you know what? I just got my real estate license. You're a dummy. What are you doing? Right? So imagine that, right? Imagine hearing those people. Are you allowing those people to get into your mind and have your subconscious mind believe what they think about the business, or are you setting your own mindset up? Right now, there's a lot of negative stuff going on, you know, and a lot of people could say that there's no business going on. You know, it's funny, guys. Yesterday here in the office, an agent walked up to me and says, you know, hey, is SkySlope still working? And I go, what? He goes, yeah, SkySlope's still working. I go, yeah, SkySlope's still working. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, didn't it get the coronavirus? So I think he was just, you know, joking around. And I show him my screen. I go, yeah, look, we've got 17 pending. We've got 8 closed for the month. And we got, of those 17, 13 closing this month. And he goes, wow, what's wrong with me? How come I'm not on that? You know, how come I don't have any sales? And I go, you know, I mean, it's whatever you want to believe. You want to believe that there's nothing going on, or you want to believe there is something going on. So, you know, the first thing you got to take care of is your mindset. Is there business? And are you going to attract business? You know, I love Bernadette Chua. She just joined us from the Santa Ana office about 2 months ago. When I talk to her on the phone, she'll tell me about an objection that's happening, and then she'll tell me, cancel. I'm opening escrow. Cancel. I'm closing that escrow. I'm closing that deal. I'm going to have 4 escrows by the end of the month, you know? And I'm like, all right, yeah, yes, absolutely. You know? So it's what you say. The other thing is, what are you portraying? What is your mindset, your belief system, your whole, what are you putting out there? Are you dressing for success? Do people look at you and go, wow, I wonder what that person does? Does your car say that about you? You know, cars are stupid and funny at the same time, because I like to think that as far as possessions go, material possessions, cars are sometimes like your second, you know, best material possession. And you know, it's funny, sometimes we don't even, I'm guilty of it. I don't wash it. There's trash in there, you know, whatever. But okay, what does your car say about you? Even if you don't have this big fancy car, is it clean? Is it clean weekly, right? Does it look like you're a professional, responsible person that has your act together? Or does it look like a mess, like your life is in shambles and it's falling apart, right? Something to think about. And trust me, guys, I'm guilty of it, okay? Number 2, build with sweat equity. You know, we're going to get back to open houses soon. I guarantee it. A few months from now, it's going to happen. What does it cost you on your open house Saturday to go out there at 9 a.m. and put 40 signs out? It only costs you sweat equity. And you guys know that I've shared this with you. I hired my neighbor for $50 a day. He goes out, he puts my signs up in the morning, and he comes and picks them up at night. And then at the end, I ended up helping him out anyways, putting half of them up. So I'm the sucker. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We're building branding, marketing with very little money, right? Yeah, I chose to use them because I don't want to be all sweaty and stuff. But you know what? If you're just starting out, sweat equity. You know, people do it on their homes. They paint their homes themselves. They tile their property on their own. You know, what does it cost you? It costs you nothing. Sweat equity. So where else can you use sweat equity? John Greer, yeah, he pays for his marketing, for his printing. but then he goes and he walks, and guess what? He gets a walk. He gets a walk out of it. He gets exercise out of it, right? So think about what can you do to better your business with only using sweat equity. Door knocking. I wrote down this question, this script. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, Mr. Grimm. You live in my real estate farm. I'm sure you've received my newsletters and my calendars over the last few months. Just had one quick question. For the right price, would you consider selling your home? Yeah, I'll take $1 million. Well, you know what? You're not too far away. Your neighbor's home sold for $950 last month. Did you know that? Right? So for the right price, would you consider selling your home? Something to think about. Leverage your sales, guys. After you sell either your own listing or somebody else's listing, are you knocking around that neighborhood? Okay, you're too shy. You don't want to knock the neighborhood because you're too shy. Fine. Send the 10 immediate neighbors in that neighborhood a handwritten note. What did John Greer just say? Jennifer from Castlehead got an escrow from her client, which is an agent, from a handwritten note. Do you think Christina Pernod or Marjorie Tyson get deals on handwritten notes? Of course they do. So leverage your sales when you close something. Hey, dear John Greer, I noticed, I'm not sure if the Grimms told you, but they sold their home through me last week or whatever. And just wanted to let you know that it sold for $950. If you've ever thought of making a move, please, reach out, throw a business card in there and send it out. 10 cards. Could you do 20? Could you do 25? Could you do 50? Sweat equity doesn't cost you anything except the card, right? Leverage your sales. Go door knocking. How about cold calling? Hey, Mr. Ramirez, I just sold your neighbor's house at 12345 Main Street. I sold it for $800,000. Have you ever considered selling? Or use the same script again. For the right price, would you consider selling your home? Right? Leverage your sales. Take advantage of that. I was just saying to Don, if you were a politician, you'd say, hey, David Grimm, I'm running for city council in the city of Cypress. Are you a resident of the city of Cypress?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Will you remember me at this election? What are 3 things that you would like to see change in the city? And then, can I ask you for a favor? Sure. If you know any other residents of the city of Cypress, would you please, give them your endorsement of me? Would you please, recommend them to vote for me, right? The same thing in sales, guys. Hey, thanks for using me and trusting me to represent you on your purchase. But hey, down the line, if you know anybody else that would need to buy or sell, will you please recommend them to me? Here's another one that one day somebody said they were joking, but I didn't think they were joking. This was like out of training. The guy goes, "You can't get a little pregnant," right? And so I don't know why I didn't understand that, guys. So I was like, they go, come up with a script that you could use on a buyer. And so I said, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, pregnant women notice other pregnant women. Isn't that true? Yes. Well, same goes for buyers. Buyers, they can see other buyers, right? Or they have friends that are also buying. Hey, if you have somebody that's considering buying right now while you're in escrow, do you mind giving them my card or giving me their contact info? I'll reach out. I promise to take care of them just as I've taken care of you. So something to do. Number 4, hire A players who love the work you hate, right? The quote that I wrote down, or not quote, but it says, a team always outperforms an individual. A team always outperforms an individual. Renee and Eduardo, they're not a team, but they partner up on certain deals. Look at that, 2 double-ended transactions. I don't want you guys to ask them for a loan, but I think between those 2 deals, I think there was probably about $60,000 worth of commissions on those 2 deals that they double in. So, you know, hire A players who love the work you hate. That doesn't mean you have to build a team, right? I hire a TC. I hate doing the paperwork. You know, when I do the paperwork, I've shared this with you guys in the past. When I do the paperwork with my clients, they want to ask me a million questions. I don't want to do that. I'd rather take them to BJ's after we close and have some beers and have some dinner and bond over that than bond over real estate paperwork. That's just my view of it. So I hire a TC, $400, $500. She does all the paperwork. They tell me all the time, I don't know why you say that they want to stay with you for hours. They only stay with me for 45 minutes. Well, you're not as fun and exciting as I am. but anyways, so hire A players who love the work you hate. If you don't like showing property, hey, Don Roberts, can I pay you $1,000 to show my client 6 homes total? You know, if they get an escrow, I'll give you $1,000. How's that sound? I'll give you $2,000, whatever. Hey, you know what? I'm not good at doing the sky slope. You know, I'll give you $150 to upload all my stuff for me. So hire A players who love the work you hate. And last but not least, guys, is dream big. You gotta dream big. You gotta, you know, whatever it is. And that doesn't mean that, oh, I want to own a skyscraper and I want to have a chauffeur, you know, in a Rolls Royce and be driven around town smoking a big fat cigar out the rear window. That doesn't mean that has to be your dream. You know, we've said it before. Maybe your dream is to take your grandkids to Walt Disney World. Maybe your dream is to buy a 5-acre small shack in Honolulu. Maybe your dream is to go to Europe and you know, have 10 grand for spending money. Whatever it is, dream big so that you have a why and you're able to apply the last 4 things that I shared with you, you know, to grow. But the bottom line is you have to think like you're a politician, like you're running for mayor, right? You got to get as many people to know you, like you, love you, trust you, right? And recommend you and refer you. And that's how you will make it to $1 million in commission. And that's all it really takes. And I've shared with you before, and we're going to wrap it up. The mother and son team, #1 team in the company, right? Nothing special about them. They're nice people, but they're not these, you know, highly fun, life of the party people. You know, they're just nice people, but nothing special about them. They're not, you know, they're not supermodels or, you know, big celebrities or anything, but they are politicians. When you come to their open house, hi, what is your name? Oh, which home's yours? Are you one of the neighbors? Oh, do you mind if we stay in touch with you? Oh, if you know of anybody, will you refer us to them? You know, and then they write the handwritten note. And then Chris calls a week later. And then they send the text, hey, we just listed a house in your neighborhood, or we listed a house over in Paramount. Where do you want to live? You know, they stay in touch. They campaign. You know, I always think of Coca-Cola. You know, why does Coca-Cola advertise every day? I mean, it's in your head, you know, it's the #1 soda of choice in the world. And I don't know if it's like #2 or #1 top brand in the world, but they continue advertising every day, just like John Greer continues dropping off his newsletter and his calendars every week, because you got to keep campaigning for the rest of your career. Sadly, that's the truth. But the good thing about it is the more you campaign, the bigger your business will grow and the more money you'll make. And with that, guys, we'll wrap it up. We're right at the hour. Wishing you guys a successful week. Follow these 5 tips, and I guarantee you, you will make $1 million in real estate. All right. Make it a great week, everybody.
All right.
See you next Tuesday.
Another good meeting. Great.